Hey, Kenosha, how was your weekend? Did you enjoy your Mother's Day? What did you do? Let me know down here in the comments. We didn't do anything special. We just met with the in-laws, had a nice little brunch at a new restaurant down in Mount, Mount, Mount Prospect, Illinois. Fancy little restaurant. It was really nice. Enjoyed our time with the in-laws, brother-in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law, and sister-in-law. Really great time. Really enjoyed it. How was your Mother's Day though? How was your weekend? I really hope that you enjoyed it. I have a question for all of you though. Do you enjoy these weekly market updates, or would you prefer that I do a monthly market update? I go back and forth on whether or not to keep doing the weekly market updates or a monthly market update. So when I do the weekly market updates, you guys get a small little update on what the market's doing. You get more of a true picture of what the market's doing. You get to see how it's pivoting and changing every week. But if I do a monthly market update, you get to see a bigger picture of what the market's doing. You get to see a bigger change. You can see how the numbers really change month over month. It's more of a shock value, I guess you could say, on what the market's doing. As opposed to these weekly market updates, it's a little taste of what the market's doing every week. So let me know down here in the comments. What do you like better? Do you like the weekly market updates, or do you prefer me to do a monthly market update for you guys? I can go either way, but I want to know what you guys like best. So let me know down here in the comments, or shoot me a text, or send me an email. My number is 262-331-1621. I have buyers, sellers, and investors just like you reaching out to me every single week, asking me how they can buy, sell, and invest here in the Kenosha area. Happy to help out any way that I possibly can. Now let's jump into this week's market report. Let's see here. We want this one. So we start here at the market action index number as usual. It is at 65. It was at 65 last week. It went up just a tad bit to 65.29. It was at 64.53 last week, so they would have rounded up to 65 last week. So it ticked up just a little bit. I don't really think it changed. The numbers didn't really change all that much when I glanced at it briefly this morning, but it just went up a little bit. Just a little bit because prices went up. Ticked up just a tiny bit week over week. So median list price here is at $400,000, up from $399. So not really much of a change. I mean, $1,000. Not going to break the bank. It's not going to change your monthly mortgage payment. It's going to change it by maybe $10, maybe $20 a month. Not a huge change there. Now this is just the list price, so this is what sellers are listing their houses at. Went up by $1,000. The median price, the median list price. This is everything that's on the market right now. So everything that's on the market right now is at $400,000. So that came up $1,000. So this adjusts for price reductions, price increases. We'll see if price increases went up or down. I honestly didn't look at that. We can see it down here though. So everything that's on the market averaged out and medianed out. You take out the outliers, that's how they get the median price is at $400,000. And the median price of new listings is at $284,900. That did tick down actually from $288,500. So down a little bit. So sellers are seeing the market kind of flatten out a little bit. I wouldn't say it's cooling down, it's just kind of flattening out a little bit. Sellers are seeing that buyers are being a little more, I wouldn't say picky. They just have a few more choices. There's a few more houses on the market. When I see the hot sheet in the mornings, that's the new listings coming on the market, I'm seeing between 30 and I would say 50 new listings every single morning. Now those listings are being snatched up really fast because there's still so many buyers out there that are looking for houses. So those houses aren't staying on the market. That's why we're not really seeing inventory creep up super fast. But sellers or buyers have more choices. So that's why sellers are having to list their price a little more competitive, list their house a little more competitively. And we're not seeing listing prices go up quite as fast as we did the last few summers. Price per square foot is at $216, down from $222.5 last week. Average days on market is at 106, is at 108 last week, so that is down a little bit. And then median days on market is at 14. Looks like that went down from 21 the previous week. Not a huge surprise there. We're going to continue to see this go down because days on market, houses are selling faster. Like I said, there are tons of buyers out there just looking for houses. Houses, especially if they're move-in ready and they're priced right, they're flying off the shelves. There are lots of hungry buyers out there looking for move-in ready houses. And as long as you price your house right, even if it's not move-in ready, buyers are just snatching up these houses as fast as they hit the market, as fast as they possibly can. Price decreases at 31.11%. That is really high. Like I said in previous videos, we like to see this around the 10-15% mark. So the fact that this is up over 30% is kind of alarming. That just tells me that sellers are pricing their houses way too high to begin with. So sellers are seeing, their neighbor's house on the street sold for, throwing a number out there, let's say $400,000. They say, you know what, Chad, my house is worth $400,000 because my neighbor's house on the street sold for that price. And I may say to that seller, well, actually your house isn't quite as nice. Your house isn't quite as big. Your house has one less bathroom. Whatever it may be, your house is really only worth $350,000. But that seller may say to me, well, you know what? I think my house is worth $400,000. Well, your house is your house. I will price your house at whatever you want. My job is to advise you on the best course of action. But ultimately, I listen to what you want to do as a seller. So if you want to price your house at $400,000, we will price your house at $400,000 and go from there. Now, obviously, sellers are pricing their houses too high. And they're not getting any offers, or they're not getting any showings. So they're having to decrease the price a few weeks down the road, a few weeks to maybe even a couple months down the road to try and sell that house. Price increases is down to 4%, down from 7% last week. So that's a good thing. We don't like to see a lot of price increases because I don't know why sellers are increasing the prices to begin with, but obviously they do for some reason. Relisted is down to 13%, down from 18% last week. So that means that houses are selling right away to begin with. They're not having to take it off the market and relist it with either the same agent or another agent. So houses are selling the first time. They're not having to relist it again. Inventory is at 45. It was at 45 last week, so no change in inventory, no up, no down. I suspect that we'll price the inventory probably stay around this 40 to, it may tick up a little bit as the summer goes on. Probably around this, I would say probably the 30 to 60 mark. It probably won't go too much higher just because there are so many buyers out there right now. So we'll probably see the inventory stay right around this mark for the summer. Median rent still holding strong at $2,000 a month. Then again, the market action index number at 65. I did change the chart for you guys this week. Yeah, I changed it to median days on market just to show you guys how the median days on market is shooting way down. It was at a high end in February. The 7-day average is at 60, and then it's just been going down and down and down ever since then. Which is a good thing for sellers. It means that your houses are selling faster and typically for more money as soon as you put it on the market. For buyers, it just means that you have to be ready to make that offer right away. There's so many other buyers out there in competition for that house that you like. You have to be prepared to put that offer in right away. Unfortunately, you can't think about the house overnight. You may be able to go, grab dinner and think about the house, but you typically can't think about the house and decide to put an offer in the next day. Typically, if the house is move-in ready, it's going to have an offer in that day and that night, and the seller's going to make a decision either that night or the very next day. So you have to be ready to move on a house right away. You can't hem and haw about it and decide. It's not like the market of 2015 where you can think about it for a little while and decide. Market segments here. I'm not going to go through the numbers. I'll just leave it here for a little bit for you guys to take a look at. If you guys have any questions at all about the market report, please feel free to shoot me a text or give me a call. My number is 262-331-1621. Happy to help out any way that I possibly can. I have buyers and sellers just like you reaching out to me every single week about how they can buy, sell, and invest here in the Kenosha market. I hope that you guys have a fantastic week. I can't wait to see you on the next video.